First of all, I would like to give the floor to the host, Mrs. Maria Popova. She will present your report, your information, please.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Dear guests, as always, you're very welcome at the Russian House. The doors of this building are always open to people who respect our country, who respect our customs, traditions, and our language. And first of all, His Excellency just told you that we decided to hold this press conference and tell you about our joint efforts, our combined work, our successful projects that we implemented together with the support, with the unwavering support of the Russian Embassy in Sri Lanka. And taking this opportunity, I would like to thank you, Your Excellency, and all the diplomats of the Russian Embassy in Sri Lanka for being always there for us, for being present at all of our major events. It was very useful and very big. From my point of view, it has been a very fruitful and eventful year here in Colombo, both in cultural life and in the scientific circles. Together we did a lot of interesting projects, and I would like to start first and foremost with our wonderful Russian language. It is one of the most difficult languages in the world, and I am very happy that so many Sri Lankans actually are willing to study our language. And from our part, we are doing everything possible to make it happen. We have Russian language courses on the basis of the Russian House on a regular basis. We have 5 wonderful teachers, 3 of which are Russian native women, and 2 Sri Lankan graduates of the Rudian University, our big friends Ranjana Senasinghe and Felix Fernando. And this year, not only we conducted the Russian language courses in Colombo, but we decided to go to expand our territory, to expand our geography of teaching Russian language. And one of the biggest highlights of what we did was opening a Russian language course for tourist police officers in Gaul in June this year. And last week, I believe, yes, they had exams, and 25 police officers successfully passed the Russian test. That is a big deal. Now those officers can easily speak with Russian.
They speak Russian better than me, by the way. I mean, this policeman.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
And they passed the first level, the A level, and they expressed their great desire to continue under level 2 next year. And of course, we will give them this opportunity. And second of all, we have launched a Russian language unit at the oldest historical university of Sri Lanka, the University of Peradeniya. And once again, taking this opportunity, we would like to thank the Vice Chancellor of Peradeniya, who was former ambassador of Sri Lanka to Russia, Professor Lama Wanza. He has been a great support to us, and thank you to him and his wonderful staff who were interested. And I really want to say this because this is very important. Not only Peradeniya gave us 1 class, they constructed a whole new building for the Faculty of Modern Languages, and our language is now taught there by our teacher, Tatiana Pandita, who goes there especially for this, and it is taught along with French, Japanese, and Hindi, so it is a big deal. And last week, they also had very, very strict exams under all the requirements of Peradeniya, and her students passed it with success. That is great, and we are planning to continue to expand our geography this year because we have very many requests coming from different regions of Sri Lanka. The tourist sector is booming, a lot of Russian tourists are coming, and of course, it would be a great help, a great tool for the officers, for the tour guides, if they know a little bit, at least the basics of our language. It's to the benefit of both of our countries. Then again, the higher education in Russia. You know that every year the Russian Federation allocates scholarships, free scholarships for Sri Lankan students. They have been doing this since 1960, and the Russian higher education has always been traditionally popular among Sri Lankan people, a lot of prominent Sri Lankan people who we all know in the government sector, in the medical sector. They have all studied in Russia or the USSR, and they are still very, very grateful for the opportunity that our country gave them. And I'm glad to tell you that this year we have raised the number of free scholarships to 50 and maybe even to 80. That information is coming, and once again I would like to tell you, we have already posted it in our social media, that the deadline to apply for this year's scholarships for the next academic year has been expanded until January 31st. So if you still haven't applied, or maybe your young friends who are willing to study get a lucky ticket in their life, if they're still hesitating whether or not they do have a chance, we have a wonderful educational officer, Binurika Jayasinghe, who is always willing to help. She's always online. You can ask her any questions. You can come in person. We will help. So that is higher education in Russia. And talking about Russian universities, I am very glad that a lot of Russian universities are actually showing great interests in coming to Sri Lanka and in introducing themselves, presenting themselves in Sri Lanka. With the help of Alexandra Shalaginova, who is always also dealing with the Russian universities now, she is doing a great job in the sector. We have partnered with 20 big federal universities in Russia during this year. We have hosted a lot of meet and greet open door sessions with Sri Lankan students, and usually we have around 75 to 100 people who attend those sessions. They ask questions. They really show their interest to those universities, and all those universities are from different regions of Russia, not only from Moscow and St. Petersburg. We have 3 universities from Ural, from the Udmurt Republic, from the Chuvash Republic. The Chuvash University representatives even came here and gave a free 6-week course of Russian language for Sri Lankan students on the basis of the Russian House in Colombo, and join our big festival of Russian culture and literature this September. It was really great. And we are planning to expand our contacts with Russian universities, and in the end of January we are holding a big forum of Russian universities here. So save the date, January 25, in this very building. We are going to be presenting all of our Russian partner universities. So more opportunities for Sri Lankans, once again. In terms of Russian culture, and that would be my final block, I won't be taking too much of your time. I know that we just had so many projects, and I wanted to tell you more about it. In terms of Russian culture, you know that the Russian Cultural Center has always been popular for its ballet classes, for its chess, for its wonderful art school. We have kids coming from all over Colombo. We have a lot of children. Our doors are open 24/7, 7 days a week. That's true. And knowing how popular ballet here is, we managed to invite a real ballerina from Moscow, from the Bolshoi Theater, from the Kremlin Ballet, who came to Colombo and taught a great series of workshops for our wonderful Sri Lankan ballerinas for all ages. She did a tremendous job. She was highly popular. She's coming again next summer. She's really willing, so we're going to have a lot of that. Oksana Karnovich, another wonderful ballerina, who is also a ballet master and the director of the Museum of Galina Ulanova and Maya Plisetskaya. They are, if somebody doesn't know, they were great Soviet ballerinas whose apartments are now museums, federal museums, and she's actually the director of those museums. She's a wonderful person who comes here every year during 12 years, right, Chandi? Yes, so, and not only she came and gave some open lessons for our kids, but she always also graded exams all over the island. All over the island. We had a huge coverage in the media. The girls were happy, they received certificates, everything was for real, even the gold medals and distinctions. And to top it all off, a little ballerina from Moscow came as an exchange program student, and she gave just a small workshop for the youngest ballerinas, but it was really wonderful. She taught them her own movements, which she developed especially for this workshop. So we are going to continue to bring more beautiful people, more interesting people, because our Russian culture is so rich and immense, and we can't wait to share it all with you. Once again, thank you for your interest.